That's right.
Hold the handrail at all times.
Interactive video area. The video center also video commentary for Fight Meeting. Browse to the look.
Turn around so I can take a picture.
Sides of buildings, they're supported in back by beams. This is Georgetown Street. If you saw the 20th Century Fox film The War of the Roses, you may recognize this area. This is where Kathleen Turner gave Michael Douglas an antique car. 20th Century Fox also used Brownstone Street over here on my side for upcoming scenes for their upcoming movie Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, starring Macaulay Culkin. We made it look like Christmas in New York out there by putting fake snow out there. Well, Dennis can't get the tram going all the way to 88 miles per hour, so we can't take you back to the future, but we can show you where some scenes from Back to the Future 1 and 2 were filmed. On the driver's side is Courthouse Square, and at the top of the courthouse is the clock tower where Doc Brown harnessed a bolt of lightning to propel Marty McFly back to the future. That area was also used in the Warner Brothers film Gremlins. It was Kingston Falls, Idaho. It looked a bit different though because it was undergoing a blizzard. All of these facades are used for what we call exterior shooting. Sometimes we do need more control of sound and lighting, however. So we'll build an exterior inside of a soundstage, like the New York City street scene we're about to see. And you might want to get your cameras out because I've heard there's some strange things going on in here.
We're just in. Continues east, causing thousands to flee their homes. Police admit that they are powerless to stop the enraged beast. Military units are rushing to the scene. The beast was last sighted near the 200-block Old Fulton Avenue. We now have live coverage on the scene with our helicopter reporter, Kelly King.
We're now hovering above the wreckage of a crushed L train. The helicopter beside us is searching for... Wait! There's a tramload of people down there. We've got to go down and warn them. Attention, people on the tram. You are in danger. Repeat. No, we have to go down and help them. Behind us where? I don't see them. Not where.
Oh boy. Well, Dennis is going to take us across the Brooklyn Bridge. It is a bit misty up here. I'm just going to make sure there's nothing up ahead. I'm going to turn around and see that there's nothing to block our way. Oh my gosh! It's King Kong! You know what? He's got the bridge cables. I hope he doesn't pull very hard on them, otherwise, well... Oh no! The bridge is collapsing! Oh no! King Kong! Wait, I think he's calmed down somewhat, Dennis. Maybe we should get out of here while we can. Alright, everybody. Steven Spielberg. One of the facades that did not burn down is this two-story building on my side. It was an art gallery in the film Legal Eagles starring Robert Redford. Ironically, it burned down in the film. It didn't burn in our 1990 fire. This is the largest of our metropolitan streets. We call it New York Street, but it can be any city in the world depending on the props we use outside of these facades. Props like street signs, street lights, mailboxes, fire hydrants, even phone booths. beams help make the city look a little bit different each time. Now, we call this New York Street, but it was Chicago and the Sting and the Blues Brothers. Seattle and the film area and the Hendersons. You can see these military vehicles on the driver's side. They're doing preparation right now for an upcoming film they're going to be using this street for called Swing Kids, which takes place during World War II. In fact, I think this is going to be Germany during World War II. So as you can see, this street can be many places other than New York. It was even London in an episode of Murder, She Wrote. Those military vehicles are what we call picture cars. They aren't really used, but they make the street look like it's wherever we're filming. Of course, if we're filming before the 20th century, we don't use picture cars. We use horses and carriages. This isn't anymore, except for what we call establishing shots. Well, as you can see, the beams are falling into the water. An establishing shot is a picture of the bridge. It's just what the bridge looks like, but nobody ever goes over the bridge. It's pretty dangerous. We're not quite sure how strong it is, but we're going to go on the back road and show you that the bridge on the other side is rotting. The wood is... Dennis, I think that back road is closed. We got to go across? Okay. Okay, we'll go across. I think it should be fine. In fact, that wood that's rotting, it's nothing. This bridge was built in 1915. There it goes. We built the bridge in this area because the land behind it is left wild looking. When you film from the correct angle, it looks like the bridge is in a remote location instead of on the back lot of a Southern California movie. Floods when it rains in this area. I think we should be fine today. But just in case, you might want to look up at the top of that hill and make sure that nothing on the bottom of the tram floor can get wet. Uh-oh. I hear some rumbling. Watch out, everybody, it's a flash flood. Oh no, look out for that tree. You just witnessed a couple of our cinematic weather effects. The flash flood, like the one seen in The River starring Mel Gibson and Sissy Spacek, is created by pumping thousands of gallons of recycled water to the top of the hill where we store the water in tanks. We release the tanks as we need the flood. The rain you see comes from sprinklers. We're going to go north of the border now into Texas. If we look through the doors of the livery stable, we can see a couple horses in there. They live there. That is a fully silent films. We could have a set and a film going on each street. It didn't matter how much noise was being made on each street since we weren't recording sound. When the mud dries, it turns dirty and dusty. And we put wooden planks on the cement sidewalks. Underwater scenes aren't very difficult to film if you have an underwater tank like the one on the driver's side. We fill that tank with water, stick our actors inside, and then through windows on the outside we can film so that our camera and crew stays nice and dry. The Lion Estate signs on the driver's side are from the Back to the Future movies. They marked it then to need something and not have it. That red paddle wheel back there that we passed is from our old riverboat, which we finally had to take apart. It was built in the 1940s and it was a little too old to remain, but it was originally built for a movie called The Mississippi Gambler starring Tyrone Powers. We used it for our series called Riverboat. In fact, there was a young actor who didn't get along too well with his director on that series. And one day when they were standing on the top of the riverboat, the actor, somewhat behind the first two cars, is a strange looking kind of traffic light. That's a futuristic traffic light from Back to the Future 2. You can see the back of a facade over there as well. You can see that the facade is really just supported in the back by beams. People can walk into it. They can walk into the house and it looks real on film, but they're actually walking into a facade. There's nothing inside. captain in the TV series McHale's Navy. We used a wave machine to make sure that the water was choppy. We also filmed from 3 different camera angles. When you edited the camera angles together, it looked much wider than this body of water really is. And supposedly, the cast and crew of McHale's Navy were really disappointed when the series was canceled. That series starred Tim Conway and Ernest Borgnine. And there's a rumor that they left underwater mines in our lake in order to spite whoever. Farmer Charlton Heston as Moses, standing on a hill, staff in hand, as he commanded the waters to part. At Universal, we do it like this. Part the waters, because we don't want to swim across. Cecil B. DeMille made the 10 Commandments twice. In 1923, it was a silent film, and to part the Red Sea in 1923, he took a frozen block of gelatin, which he cut in half, and he filmed it as it was being melted back together by gas jets. When you reverse the film footage, it looked as if the Red Sea was actually parting. In 1956, he used a special effects technique combined with footage of actors walking along a dirt road. When you combine the two, it looked like people were actually crossing the Red Sea. But we're going to cross the Red Sea ourselves today. Well, be prepared, you never know when there's more water just around the corner. The yard on my side is all different wetlands around Chevy Chase. In the area on my side today, a propped graveyard was once Gilligan's Island on the TV movies inspired by the series. 7 on the driver's side with the green doors. A prop, or as it's properly called, a property, is anything not nailed down on a set. And it can range in size from a paperclip to a grand piano. With over 5 million props, our department is the largest collection of its kind. We used quite a few props in this area to make it look like ancient Rome. This is Spartacus Square, seen in the 1960 Stanley Kubrick film Spartacus. This is the area where Sir Laurence Olivier addressed the Roman troops. It was also seen in the 20th Century Fox film The History of the World Part 1, starring Mel Brooks, called City Slickers, brought to you by Castle Rock. You might remember the opening scene with Daniel Stern, Bruno Kirby, and Billy Crystal. The Court of Miracles was originally built in 1919 for a film called The Miracle Man, starring Lon Chaney. Lon Chaney was known as the Man of 1,000 Faces because he was terrific with makeup. Paul Bunyan and his Blue Ox Babe on the driver's side are from The Great Outdoors, starring John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. The area on mine is from the film Always, starring Richard Dreyfuss. And please keep your arms and legs inside the tram. I imagine the props are going to be out, and we don't want any of the props touched. Driver's side. I guess they've got some kind of storyline going. You can see that the lights are out. That's why we call this a hot set. And it's also dressed for filming with all the props. It's kind of like dressing an actor. Well, don't worry about that, everyone. That's just one of these little promos we get here in Southern California. That's not. Please remain calm, everybody. Something's coming out of those jets on the driver's side. Oh my gosh, it's our upper level. Oh no, that's a liquid gas truck. Some kind of alarm, I guess. I don't. On the driver's side is a screen, and there's no way it's gonna make it. I think that's the worst of it, everybody. So this is the main model. More water on my side. That's okay. This experience is the most sophisticated live visual effect ever created. Everybody's. In fact, you can see our local fisherman George out there. Hi, George. What would he be doing if there was a great white shark in these waters? Actually, George thinks there is a shark in these waters because he never catches anything when he goes fishing. I just think he's a bad fisherman, but he feels differently. I guess. Why is everybody looking? Oh my gosh, George! There's a shark. You were right. Get out of the water, George. George. There goes one gutsy guy. If you can please remain seated, we are going to move ahead now. George was pretty smart, actually. He tied a baited hook to that yellow buoy. I hope that the shark will take the bait. Oh, great. He's taking the bait. Oh, no! He's taking the bait with him. Watch out, everybody! My only question now is, well, where's the shark? I'm just going to make sure no one turned into sushi. If the Psycho House looks a bit smaller than you expected, you're not mistaken. Alfred Hitchcock, who directed Psycho, had it built on a 3/4 scale. By building it a quarter smaller than it really should be, he knew that when filmed from below, the house would look further away from the motel than it really is. It also made Norman Bates look larger and more ominous. When he's driver's side on the hill, you can see the backs of some facades. The front of these facades is the Pasadena neighborhood, where Charles Grodin and his family live with their St. Bernard Beethoven. Storm the castle. The snow. We do have some snow blocking the road we normally take, so we have to go through an ice tunnel. Do you know about ice tunnels? Like avalanches can be triggered by noise going through ice tunnels, so please be quiet in here. And if you're the type that gets claustrophobic, don't scream, just close your eyes, you should be okay. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Uh-oh. We've made a lot of great movies that you know here on my side. You can see some. The Ferrari was Magnum PIs, and the taxi cab is a futuristic taxi cab from Back to the Future 2. On the driver's side, we're passing the back of the Universal Amphitheater where we have live. And the Silver DeLorean is from Back to the Future. If you're interested in seeing any TV shows taped or filmed while you're in LA, check the TV tickets booth right near the exit today.
Is a fire that has burned out all the oxygen in a room, leaving only superheated gases, over 2,000 degrees, just waiting for a fresh breath of air. The fire gets what it wants. You have a backdraft. Hi, I'm Ron Howard.
only a few seconds on film. But as you can see, the right effect, it's worth it. Sometimes shooting a scene in a car doesn't require using a real car. For example, rain. Wherever there's rain, lightning can't be too far behind. But don't worry, Doc, it's only a storm. A little electricity and water. It'll pass just like the car into the socket.
Reset for us, if you would. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Miami Vice Action Spectacular scene. They're going to move in and collect some hard evidence. But before they get around to that, our band of smugglers, they've got some other ideas. Something like a dynamite surprise party. Stand by, everybody. Here we go. Gentlemen, cameras are rolling, and give us action.
aspiring actors and actresses selected from this audience.
I'm not much of a dancer.
Mama's got a new whip.
She does.
You made Mama mad, boy, and I'm gonna cut you up.
Well, come on, then.
You wouldn't hit a teeny tiny, itsy bitsy defenseless little lady now, would ya?
No.
Pansy!
Oh!
Happy trails! Whip it! Whip it good!
Hey, I'm coming, Brett. I'm leaving, Brett.
You're not expecting nothing! You're
You'll be okay, lady.
I just want to
Yes.
So nuts!
Yeah. You're headed for the last roundup, stunt monkey. Hey, don't call me that, okay? Okay. Stunt monkey, stunt monkey. Down, Claude, down. Hey, Claude, it's a pinata party. Are you crazy, lady?
Oh, shut up, turkey, and eat lead!
Oh!
Nuts!